What's up, guys? This is James from World Minus One Entertainment here, and this is FIFA 08, and we're going to be using this to predict who's going to win this year's FA Cup. And yes, the FA Cup final is almost upon us, and who is in the final? Well, just look to last year and repeat it this year. It's Manchester City versus Manchester United. Yes, so we're getting a rematch from last year. I'll be quite frank. I personally think City are going to win it. That's what I think. I mean, United would need something big this season to win the FA Cup. But before we get into this match and we see what FIFA 08 predicts, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a look at the teams. So, the teams that were playing for each team at this very moment in time, so this is the 2007-2008 season, is so for Manchester City, it was Kasper Schmeichel, Corluka, Richard Dunn, Micah Richards, what a legend he's become, what with his punditry, Garrido, Dietmar Hamann, Michael Johnson, Giovanni, Michael Petrov, Elano, and I think his first name was Roberto, but Bianchi. Then for Manchester United, it was Edwin van der Sar, Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, Patrice Evra, Cristiano Ronaldo, Paul Scholes, Michael Carrick, Ryan Giggs, Wayne Rooney, and Carlos Tevez. Almost very much like a who's who of, football from Manchester United. And then you look at this Manchester City team, and keep in mind this was literally one short year before, they managed to get pumped full of billions and billions. But yeah, Kasper Schmeichel, Micah Richards. Look at the overall for Richards, an 82. That is really good. But yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this to see who's going to win the FA Cup. So without further ado, let's go for it. Alright then, here we go. FA Cup final time. Back in 2008, this would have been just another day at the office for Manchester United. They were so used to playing in finals. Whilst Manchester City, on the other hand, as I said before, were one short year away from becoming billionaires. And I can't even remember when their last World Cup final was before this. It would have been a long time ago. Long time before. Oh, here we go. Previous rivalry. So yeah, but it would have been a long old time since Manchester City won a trophy, because they didn't win their first trophy until they ironically won the FA Cup, which I believe they won. I think it was in like 2011. Just a couple of years after the money got pumped into the club. So if you remember from last year, I decided to do this very same thing. I did the FA Cup final using one of the FIFA games. It would have been FIFA 05, because I then, went ahead and did my FIFA 05 full season playthrough as Crystal Palace, and I hope that you've thoroughly enjoyed it. It has been one hell of a run, let's just put it that way. But yeah, and it said that it would finish a 0-0 draw with Manchester United winning on penalties. Now, as we know in real life, I think it finished 2-0 or 2-1, something like that. And yeah, let's hope that this time we get a victory in full 90. But it looks like at the moment Manchester City are, remaining quite resolute. 2007-08 season is also the same year that Manchester United won the Premier League, as well as then went on to win the Champions League in Moscow against Chelsea in a penalty shootout. Maybe someday I'll get round to doing like a Champions League final prediction. I've got a lot going at the moment, so I think working on something like that isn't exactly the greatest of ideas. But I might change my mind. Also, if you remember correctly, go on. United turning it. 1-0. Who scored that? Rooney himself. Nice. What was it I was going to say? Oh yeah, if you remember correctly, last season, after doing the FA Cup final, I then went ahead and did the full season on FIFA 05. I shall be doing the same thing this season, not on FIFA 05, but as you can see, I'm using FIFA 08 to simulate who is going to win this FA Cup, which will then lead into a full season playthrough. Now, I can't remember if I announced who I was going to do it as. If not, I'm going to save it for the end of this match. And then, let you guys know. Because Wednesday night Premier League, which, FYI, is going to go under rebrand. It's now going to be referred to as Wednesday night FIFA. Yes, indeedy. So, what I'm going to do is, it shall be returning for the beginning of the season, which I think was announced, in advance. Not the fixtures, just the start and finish date. But when I get a chance to, at the end of this video as well, I'll let you know when Wednesday night FIFA shall be returning. I shall keep you all informed. And at the moment, this is the first. That was the longest bit of sustained possession from Manchester City for quite some time. Also, with FIFA 08, the 07-08 season, it also had one of the most unlikely FA Cup finals in recent memory. Who was it? It was Portsmouth versus Cardiff City. Now, Cardiff City at the time was still playing in the Championship. They hadn't made it to the Premier League for the first time, and they never betrayed their colours from blue to red for a short period of time after their owner decided to take some crazy pills. Ooh! It was very close. It's very, very close there. But yeah, it was. That was a few years before the owner took some crazy pills and decided to rebrand them from the Bluebirds to the Dragons, changed the colours from red to blue. But yeah, Portsmouth ended up winning the FA Cup that season. Well done, you. And Portsmouth also went ahead and got to the FA Cup final again in 2010, this time losing though. And it was also the same season, that was the same season anyway, 2010, where Portsmouth sadly became the first team in Premier League history to receive a points deduction. I believe it was 10 or 12 points deduction for entering administration. They had spent a lot of money, especially on wages and stuff like that. It was, definitely a sign of the times. I mean, City at the moment, from what I've been seeing, haven't really... Ooh, tight angle. Great save there by Van der Sar. Great save. There we go, and it's half-time in this FA Cup final. Manchester United 1, Manchester City 0. Right, so this is the goal all over again. Rooney turns it, and boom, straight into the bottom corner past Kasper Schmeichel. And also, I just want to give some props and kudos to Kasper Schmeichel. Like, obviously, there's always the comparison between him and his father, Peter. Peter being one of the greatest, Manchester United goalkeepers of all time. Arguably one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. Arguably the greatest goalkeeper of his generation. And... Peter went on to win it all. FA Cups, he won the European Championships with Denmark, he won the Premier League multiple occasions, he won in his last season at Manchester United, he won he won the Champions League in the treble season for Manchester United. It was just one of those where it's just absolutely phenomenal. But Kasper, on the other hand, you know what? Fair play to him. He's carved his own career. Premier League, FA Cup, Charity Shield. He's gone to major tournaments, and yeah, fair play. So yeah, let's just fast forward into the second half. Alrighty then, here we go with the second half of this FA Cup final between Manchester City and Manchester United. big Manchester derby, you know, for the second year running in the FA Cup final, and that was a good defensive display, literally just block out the United attack, you know. It's like, there's only like a few players from this Manchester City team that I still remember and recognise. I mean, I remember Richard Dunn because he was a hard-ass centre-back. Dietmar Hamann, he was, you know, a legend at Liverpool and all that. Like I said, you've got Michael Richards. He was, he played during the, you know, the beginning of the dominance of Manchester City. You know, before Pep arrived and everything like that. You know, and he's now carved out a very successful career in punditry. Well done, you sir. I love you, Mr. Michael Richards, and don't let your banter with Roy Keane ever stop. Obviously, I've given my props and kudos to Kasper Schmeichel as well, you know. And who was the other one I was thinking of? Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson, like, I remember reading about him. So, Michael Johnson, if you're unaware of who he was a young lad that played for Manchester City, and he was actually tipped to be an exciting prospect for the future, you know, future England midfielder and all of that big hype and blah blah blah. And then I can't remember what forced him out, but I think it was either an injury or something like that. Anyway, so it hit the kid pretty hard and started suffering from depression and things like that, and eventually just retired, you know. But to this day, I mean, like, he leads a normal life, but now people have been like, oh, he's unrecognisable, and, you know, just ignore all of that bullshit. You know, fodder news, if you can call it that. You know, anyway, but the thing is, it's like, he suffered from a lot of depression, and obviously he retired from football because of it. And, you know, like I said, he's carved out, you know, his own life since, and, you know, all of the props and kudos. And this is something that never really gets talked about, especially within amongst major sports people in sports, you know, is that there are certain things that will occur in your life, and it is going to take a very heavy toll on. It took a very heavy toll on Michael and his career and everything like that. So, guys, if you love sports, whether it's watching or if you play, if you're a professional, a semi-professional, an amateur, or what have you, if you need help, please seek that help straight away. You know, there are people out there, and people will listen. City are on a sustained attack, but it's wasted. So yeah, but yeah, just wanted to quickly get that out there. Oh, it looked like Giovanni was going for a quick corner, but you know, that's just the pre-corner animation. Oh, the ref waved play on. Ooh, so close. Why is everyone being given the yellow card? Was that because of the tackle? I was a little confused there. Rooney's on one again. He's taking them all on at the moment, running it over to the corner. I'm also going to be quite honest. Another reason why I thought Manchester United don't stand a chance in this cup final, in real life anyway, is because when you have a look at that second half display, as well as the display in added time, like Coventry City in the semi-final, woof! God, I mean, like, they deserved it. Like, I was at the football the day of the FA Cup semi-final. I weren't at Wembley. I was elsewhere watching the football. I was at Crystal Palace, West Ham, 5-2 to Palace, and yeah, like, I watched that in time and everything like that. And then, you know, I saw Coventry score, and I thought to myself, like, I mean, it's the correct decision. It was offside, but I just thought to myself, goodness me, you lot have been robbed. Coventry should have won that and then get slapped. I was cheeky. Don't know what Ronaldo was thinking there, but that was cheeky. go. There we go indeed. So, at the end of this match, it says that Manchester United are going to win the FA Cup this year against Manchester City. Now, obviously, it's a little bit biased, but I like to do things like this. Anyway, so, last season it predicted a United win this time, but now it's through penalties. But this year is predicting an outright win in 90, within the 90 minutes to Manchester United. So, yeah. To get my couple of announcements out of the way. So, yes, as I mentioned before, when I did something similar last season, using FIFA 05 to predict the FA Cup final to then do my FIFA 05 full season playthrough as Crystal Palace, I'm doing the exact same thing as I mentioned before. So, obviously, we've got this on FIFA 08. So, when Wednesday night FIFA returns, and I'll give you the date in just a minute, I shall be doing it as Derby County. Now, why am I doing it as Derby County? Because I've given myself, well, the overriding goal is to stay in the Premier League, because they were relegated that season, right? But I have 3 minor goals, if you will. 1. So hold on. Yeah, I want to stay in the Premier League, but if you remember, Derby County that season, 2007-2008, were relegated from the Premier League with 11 points. It's still a record low, right? And it's been 16 years since that horrible season for Derby County. So these are my 3 mini goals outside of staying in the Premier League. 1, score more than 20 goals. Yes, Derby County scored only 20 goals all season. They actually conceded 89 in total. 89. 2, I want to win more than 1 game. Because during that season, Derby County only won 1 match. And that was against Newcastle in the September of that season. So it would have been September 2007. And then they never won again. And finally, I want to get more than 11 points. You'd think it'd be easy, but, we'll just see what happens. So yeah, FIFA 08 is going to be my next full season playthrough as Derby County. And when shall Wednesday night FIFA return? Well, as I said, the dates of the start and end of the season have already been released. So Wednesday night FIFA shall return on the 14th of August. So if you're a regular viewer for my Crystal Palace full season playthrough, mark that in your calendars. If you're a Derby County fan, or if you're a football fan, or if you're whatever fan, even if you watch my channel regularly, mark that in your calendars, because that's when Wednesday night FIFA returns. Which finally, after all of my ramblings, brings me to the end. So, thank you very much for joining me on this special FA Cup prediction video using FIFA 08. Who was going to win the FA Cup this season according to FIFA 08? It's going to be Manchester United. Right, so thanks very much for joining me. As always, if you liked the video, give it a like, share the video as well. More shares, more views. The more views, the more that channel continues to grow, and the more that I get to do this for you. Subscribe to 1-1 Entertainment if it's your first time on the channel. Don't forget to check out all of the other content that is currently available, because you never know, there might be something that you like. If you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so you are notified about any and all content that goes live onto the channel. Finally, drop us a comment. Do you think Manchester United are going to win this FA Cup final? Do you reckon Manchester City is going to win this FA Cup final? Are you excited? Now I'm going to be doing FIFA 08 full season playthrough as Derby County. Do you think Erik ten Hag should continue after the FA Cup final, or should he be released at the end of the season and United go looking for a new manager? Drop us a comment and let me know below. Let's have a chat. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon for another, well, actually, I'll just see you soon. Yeah, take it easy, everyone.